Are you guys ready? This is the best 996 911 I have ever driven. Sounds so good. Today we are in a 2001 RUF RGT, and this car is extremely special. This is actually a RUF produced car. So there are two different types of RUFs, if you want to call it that. We have a Porsche 911 modified by RUF, where you take a already built 911 and you send it off and they put some parts on it, and they're fantastic cars, great cars. But then you also have cars that were built by RUF in the RUF factory, and this is one of those cars. It was a chassis, a Porsche 911 chassis given to RUF to develop this car. And what they have done with it is magical. I forget for a minute that I'm driving a car with these awful amoeba headlights, and I don't care, because the way this car performs, the sounds that it makes, it is so much fun. Even on these suburban roads where we're not really pushing it, it's so lively. The personality of this car is so great. It makes me want one, but the problem there is there's only 17 of these in the entire world, so finding one is going to be very difficult. This car is derived from the GT3 engine, but it's bumped up to 395 horsepower, so plenty of power for this small car. It's not crazy fast, but it is just enough for this body. What RUF is so good at is taking an already great car and just turning it up to 11, elevating the car to near perfection. All of the little things they've done to this car, from the suspension to the brakes to the integrated roll bar, all add up to something that is Porsche perfection. It really is. The more time I spend around RUF cars, the more I grow to love and respect them. What they do, what they produce is just next level stuff. It really is. So now that I'm coming off the high of driving the RUF, let's talk about the cosmetic upgrades that RUF does to this car. So we happen to have this stunning example in inventory. It's a beautiful blue metallic exterior with a gray interior, which I'll talk about in just a minute. But let's start with the outside of this car. I'm not a huge fan of the 996 amoeba headlights, but in general, I think this is the best looking 996 I've ever seen, because it blends some aggressive touches with also some really small and unique RUF touches to the car. So you're gonna get these aggressive front and rear bumpers with exhaust on the car and a wing, but then you get these nice little touches of the mirrors and the classic RUF wheels and the small little intakes that are on the rear deck lid, and all of it adds up to a car that when you look at, you know it's special and you know it's different than every other 996. So the interior of the RUF is very similar to the exterior, where you have these big, bold, and aggressive pieces complemented with nice little touches by RUF. So first I have to say, I love the interior of the 996 in general. I think it's a really nice place to sit. Everything's laid out really well. It's very simplistic too, and you have these touches in here like the gauges that are the same gauges that are in a CGT. So might be something from my personal childhood, but I do love the interior of a 996. Now, with this specific car, you have these custom Racetex finished seats that I think complement the blue exterior really well. And then other things that RUF does on the inside of these cars is you'll notice there's a bar running across behind the seats. Well, that's a fully integrated cage into this car, and that's really the only piece that you can see. There are some bumps up in the headliner that you would notice are different from a standard 996, but they do a great job of hiding it. You do get other little touches from RUF, the roof in the gauges, a roof steering wheel, which I'm not a huge fan of. I don't think it's thick enough, and also I don't like how it's protruding towards you, but you know, that's something you can change. This particular car does have the updated Porsche PCM system, which is 2023. I would highly, highly recommend you consider that. So overall, this is such a nice place to sit, but at the end of the day, the focus is put on the driver and it's put on the driving experience of this car.